Hello, I'm Arda Dingiloğlu. I'm the founder of PMCEASY and PMCEASY. I'm a dentist. Straight out of dental school, I opened up my own shop, worked there for 2 years, then I figured I'm not really cut out to be a clinician, and I went into search for something greater, and I became the distributor for Invisalign for Turkey. I carried out that magnificent job for 8 years, and in 2018, Align Technology came direct to Turkey. I joined the Align team in Turkey as sort of a consultant, which lasted about a year. I was destined to leave from day one. And after that year's end, I started my treatment planning service company called PMCEASY. At PMCEASY, it's been 5 years now. We are helping doctors to achieve predictable and great results on their aligner cases. And we have knocked down over 50,000 cases so far. I believe if you ask any treatment planner or treatment planning company what the biggest challenge that they're facing, very early on they would say scalability. So as time passes and more people start to trust you, you reach a threshold. The number of cases that you can manage in a year start to overwhelm you. Adding new staff members helps you up to a certain point, but still you face the challenge of managing those staff members. You need to educate them, keep them updated, keep them motivated, and the workload sometimes fluctuates. You need to keep all of them busy at all times. So PMCEASY was born out of necessity, really. So we wanted to streamline our workflow. And the best way to do it is to have an algorithm in place. Unfortunately, there is no blueprint for this. We wanted to see if we could build and use algorithms to take the workload off of our individual staff members. As we were looking for ways to build an algorithm, we said we need to have a scientific method. We started to browse what's the latest software technology that we can utilize for this, and that was AI. So in the end, we managed to train our AI with over 50,000 quality data to give us the tooth movement predictability, the choice of attachments, sequencing, and also anchorage choices. So initially we built PMCEASY for ourselves. I wouldn't really call it a frustration, but the thing is we sometimes have a great deal of workload. Although we have a great team, the staff members are well educated, well motivated, and up to date. Although we produce the same predictable plan each and every time for our customers, we run into the problem where we need to do a lot of quality control within our team. And that is also a time-consuming factor when we were trying to give the best service that's out there in the least amount of time so that our customers can approve their plans as fast as possible. So from that perspective, we wanted to automate the decision-making process as much as possible so that our team would be working with greater and greater efficiency as time passed. I would say that aligners save time at the chair side, but doctors lose that time in front of the computer. So our software enables them to save time without compromising their detailed approaches. The first feature that we designed was the attachment interface, because it was the most time-consuming element in the aligner treatment planning process. So this is where you need to go tooth by tooth and develop a strategy for each and every single tooth in that plan so that you have less and less refinements to deal with. We said, okay, let's start from there. Let's tackle the biggest decision-making process that we have at our hands. And if we could do this, then sky's the limit. Yes, definitely. Starting with me, I gave us like a 30% shot at doing this because there is an immense work that we need to put in and also what we could gain out of it is unclear, and in those circumstances, if you start to lose hope somewhere down the road, then the project is really trashed. My teammates, on the other hand, were more pessimistic than I was. They thought that this could never be done. So it took a lot of convincing during the development of the project. So as the project started to unfold, I decided to include more members in the project team to get their reactions and their feedbacks. And at that stage, the input that we were feeding into our algorithm was producing outputs here and there in bits and pieces. And I remember that when we managed to get a list of attachments for some of the teeth that were in the plan, our staff members immediately went like, oh my God. So when I saw that wow moment, I knew that we had something. I would say both of them have their own challenges, but for the orthodontics part, we had a great number of data that we could use, although we didn't know how to sort it out and reach our goal in achieving a scientific manner. On the other hand, the tech part, the coding part, was also difficult, but I believe that anyone with a relatively good coding skill can do the coding part. What's more difficult is gathering all that quality data and also sorting it out and putting it into the system to have a consistent output. So that's the biggest challenge that you can have when you have an AI-aided platform. I need to go back like a decade to answer this one, but I would say that when I first started to sell aligners, I thought that it would be really easy to do. So I thought that people would see it the way I do, and they would hold a piece of technology in their hands, which for the end user is really simple to use and effective, which changes the doctors and also the patients' lives. And literally, I thought that they would see it as an instrument to almost grab the patient from the sidewalk into the clinic. I was terribly mistaken. I never sold a disruptive product before, and when selling disruptive products, the most common thing you face is people's resistance to change. And I didn't know how to inflict change back then, and it's a difficult thing to do. You need to change behavior. So took a lot of beating on me to get there and achieve what I wanted to achieve. And now we are selling a disruptive product again, an AI-aided treatment planning platform, which takes me back a little bit to those times. I see that people are scared of AI, and not only the notion of AI, but the complexity of AI and also the reliability of AI. But I see that people are much more open to change if they see the real benefit of the technology that you bring to them. I wouldn't say it's just one feedback that was most satisfying. We have many feedbacks during our days, but the most satisfying times that we have are when our customers share the results of their plans in either social media or with us, because we know that if they're sharing, they're proud of it, they're satisfied, they're happy, and their patients are happy, and we know that we are doing the right thing in the right way to help them out. So I think PMCEASY's badge would read, helping doctors sleep better since 2024. No, I'm kidding. I think it would be turning a complex thing like aligner treatment planning into a predictable, repeatable, and teachable process. For years, aligner treatment planning depended heavily on the doctor's experience who's planning the case. So PMCEASY changed that by embedding orthodontic knowledge and AI-driven feedback into every case. And this enables a young doctor to plan a case like a veteran. So once we figured this out ourselves, we realized that we are changing the way the next generation of orthodontists are learning and also practicing. If I beamed you up in a spaceship and you were away from the planet for, let's say, 5 years, and you come back, you won't be able to recognize the profession of dentistry. So many things are changing at the moment, and so many will change. I'm not talking about like robots taking over. On a software basis, the examinations, the implementations, the monitoring of the patient, all are going to depend some way, somehow on AI. The task-oriented part of the business is going to be done by AI tomorrow, not even in the next 5 years maybe. But the cognitive part is going to be maybe 50-50. But in the end, doctor is always going to be in the picture, because doctor is the sole responsible of the patient. The end decision always relies on the doctor. So no need to be scared. We need to be on top of our game more than ever. We need to utilize AI as much as possible in the clinic, off the clinic, in front of the computer, to save time, to achieve better results, to be more efficient, whatever you want to name it, whatever your goal is. And AI is a great teammate to help you get there. My answer is going to be biased for sure. PMCEASY is going to be the tool to automate decision making and help doctors on a critical level to up their game, to improve their processes so that they spend less time in front of the computer, but still getting those great results at the end of treatment with less and less refinements. I would say it would be 4 things: analytical, meticulous, consistent, and efficient. At the top of the list, I would say patience, hard work, diligence, and positivity. That would be, in a nutshell, what I would advise to my younger self. So when I chat with my friends and my colleagues, most of them think that you just code stuff and build an AI, and it gives you pretty much the right answer every time you ask a question. I wish that was the case, but you need to train the AI. So training AI is difficult because it requires large sets of data. But also, what's not really spoken out loud, even in the AI community, is the quality of that data that you're feeding the AI with. So we were really lucky in that part. With all the 50,000 cases that we have in our archive, they were all planned by us. So it was planned with a controlled method, and we knew what we were going to get at the end of those plans. So therefore, we were able to train our AI with the exact right data set that we want to be able to copy our brains, our way of thinking, our way of planning to our artificial intelligence AI-aided platform. Another obstacle that stands in the way of AI builders for orthodontics is consistency. Because AI is not exactly consistent, and orthodontics is a positive science, which means that if you have the same input each and every single time, you need to get the same output each and every single time. To overcome this issue on the back end, we divided our software into two parts, which is an AI-aided part where we get all the scientific data from, and we were able to do the automation and the consistency on the other set of algorithm that we wrote to give the same output if we have the same input each and every time. So in closing, I would highly encourage anyone and everyone to use AI in their daily lives and in their professional lives to lighten the workload and to focus on more important things, whichever you please. So if you have any questions, just don't be shy and write up on the comments, or you can reach me on my Instagram right here. Bye-bye.